Think you can't race? Think again. SimAbility is breaking barriers and making sim racing accessible for drivers with disabilities. We're a welcoming iRacing league open to racers with disabilities, along with their friends and supporters of all abilities. Our members represent a wide range of skill levels and experience, from first-timers to seasoned competitors. This is a place to connect, compete, and most importantly, have fun. Racing isn't just about speed, it's about the freedom to compete. At SimAbility, we believe every driver deserves a spot on the grid. Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for exciting battles, competitive racing, and great friendships. Join the SimAbility Racing League today.
From the world of competitive sim racing, welcome to No Limits, Just Legends, presented by SimAbility. Tonight, the drivers of the Legends Car Series battle it out for pride points and a trip to Victory Lane. Hello everyone, and welcome to SimAbility YouTube Network. I'm your announcer, Leilani Wilson, bringing you all the action from tonight's race. Tonight we come to you from the LA Coliseum, a fast, challenging circuit that demands precision from every driver on the track. Weather conditions tonight are perfect for racing, with cool track temperatures that should provide plenty of grip and fast lap times. The No Limits Just Legends series features some of the most competitive Legends drivers in the SimAbility community. These cars are known for tight racing, quick reactions, and drivers that aren't afraid to push the limits. Expect intense battles all throughout the field tonight. Alrighty, let's take a look at the point standings before we go to the grid and see where everyone's starting. This season, 18 cars have completed at least one race, and the one leading them all right now is Dalton Williamson, and he's got a decent lead of 18 points over Jason Lance. These two drivers have been absolutely dominating this season, but sneaking up behind them has been Stephen Kiefer, who's been steadily getting faster, along with Andrew Smith. Those two have both really started to turn up the temperature as the season goes on. Tom Johnson rounds out the top 5. Then it's Billy Wise, Johnny Berardi, Don Fisher, Tim Obert, and Thomas Wise are the top 10. Pretty tight points battle at the front, especially from 2nd to 5th. That is pretty close. So we're going to take a quick break, take a look at the lineup, and get started.
Hey Jacob, where would be a really cool place to see one of our SimAbility products?
How about the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina?
So big thanks to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and going above and beyond in setting up this ADA compliant simulator, and thanks for choosing SimAbility.
Welcome back, everyone. We are going to go over the starting lineup from the back to the front this time. And once again, that is going to begin us with the number 1 of Dalton Williamson, who has elected to start from the back tonight in the number 1 machine. He is currently your points leader, so we're going to see if he can make his way up to the front around this tight racetrack. Next up is going to be Andrew Smith in the number 87. And Andrew has definitely been turning up the heat lately in the season. As I mentioned earlier, he currently sits 4th in points in that number 87 SimAbility admin box machine. Up ahead of him in the Heineken beer car, that's the 32 of Billy Wise. And next to him is going to be the 99X Johnny Berardi. After that, it's TJ Tom Johnson in the Fireball machine. And if he gets out from behind the pace car, Stephen Kiefer in the Rustmobile. Looks like they've knocked the clear coat off that thing this week. See if it makes it any faster. Pole sitter is the number 76. That is Jason Lance, second in points, only 18 points out of the lead right now. He is really hungry for a win after Williamson has been cleaning up the past several weeks. So we're getting ready to go green here. We'll be back with the start.
Bring your driver to life with custom-designed racing hero cards. Perfect for fans, sponsors, autograph sessions, and race day promotions. High-quality design, personalized layouts, and attention to every detail that makes your brand stand out. Turn your racing story into something fans can take home.
And we're back. Pace car getting ready to pull off. 76 Jason Lance leading them down with a hard-charging number 22 of Stephen Kiefer. Had a great qualifying run tonight, and we're green. Bit of a late launch for some of the drivers there, but looks like Lance got a fantastic start. TJ gets crossed up. Berardi gets crossed up. We're 3 wide in the back for a moment. And we're back in some semblance of order, though I see the 87 got knocked out of line just a little bit there. Smith gathers it back up. Meanwhile, there's a battle going for third. That's Billy Wise underneath TJ. TJ outbreaks him getting into the corner, gets very loose through the center. Not a lot of grip up there in that second groove. And Williamson is now on the outside looking in. Wise still trying to work the inside. Momentum did favor TJ on the exit to turn number 2. And TJ's going to go back down to the bottom. Williamson now climbs up to the top. Williamson gets a great run out of turn number 2. And he is a nose ahead for third position down the backstretch. And he successfully outbreaks TJ. He is going to take away that third spot. And now he's setting sail, trying to get after Stephen Kiefer. As Andrew Smith starts trying to move back up, he goes by Billy Wise. Oh, look out! Johnny Berardi's around in the back. He gathers it back up, no caution. And there is a look at your leader. That is Jason Lance. As the field cycles around the track here, you can kind of get an idea of just how far apart they actually are. It is a very small track, but a little bit of time makes a big difference on a track of this size. We're riding along here with Johnny Berardi, who's out here on his own at the moment. Now watch this in the corner. A lot of these guys are jumping all the way down onto the flat. In fact, the fast line has been down there all through qualifying, and if you can see the dark line of rubber on the track, that is from rubber laid down from the tires, and these guys have been laying a ton down there on the flat. So we're about to have ourselves a battle for second. This is the number 1 of Williamson. He's working to the inside of the 22. Kiefer, and he takes it in one go. So 11 laps, and Williamson is already up into the second position. Now, of note, in qualifying, the 76 and the 1 were only separated by 0.016 seconds. So these two are very, very close in speed. And right, oh, a little bit of contact with the wall further back. Let's see what's going on. Right now that is Smith and Johnson racing with Wise, and these three have been tight all season long, usually involved in a battle of one type or another. Looks like right now TJ is getting some pretty good momentum to keep him out in front of these other two, as the leaders are lapping around Berardi. And Williamson really is starting to close that gap here on lap 14. Zoom in a bit, you can definitely see the interval shrinking as these two are getting ready to do battle. Williamson running a bit lower down on that bumpy stuff I was talking about earlier. And that pavement down there, it has grooves in it. You can probably see all those little dots. Those are divots. And running through them, it's basically like running over a rumble strip. Definitely can upset the car a little bit. But the amount of time you make up really makes it worth it. We've got Smith around on the front stretch. Didn't get to see what happened to him, but looks like the car's okay. I don't see any damage to it. Front bumper does look a little roughed up as we go back to the battle for the lead. And we're yellow. So we're going to take a quick look at what happened, try to figure out how to fix it, and we'll be right back. We are getting close to going back to green here. They're coming to the 1 to go sign. And the current running order is still Lance, Williamson, Kiefer, Johnson, Wise, Smith, and Berardi. It may be a short field today, but on a track this small, 7 cars can feel like an awful lot. We will be going green here on lap 24. And there's the green. Great launch for Lance in the 76. The Icy Man is making tracks, but Williamson is not letting him go right now. As he starts working the outside, he is up next to Lance. Lance has got to really keep it down there on those divots. So far, so good. They're giving each other plenty of room. Williamson really trying to get that outside group to work. It's got good momentum coming off of turn number 2. And he outbreaks the 76 into 3. He's got it. New leader, Dalton Williamson. A little bit of contact further back. That was between the 32 and the wall, I do believe. And we're already getting single file and getting settled in. There are about 100 laps to go at this point, and folks got to start be thinking about their tires. Now, most weeks these legend car tires last the whole race. Changing them, in fact, is usually not in the driver's best interest. However, this week, with those divots on the bottom and with the sheer amount of braking and turn in that these guys are doing, tires may actually become a factor, and we may see some drivers wear theirs out as time goes on. This is lap number 30 going away. Under 100 laps to go for these guys. The closest battle on the track right now would be between TJ and Andrew Smith. Smith kind of trying to size TJ up here. He's going to come up on him. He gets down under him. He thought better of it for a second, but he's going. A little bit of almost contact. I don't know if that was contact. And Smith is on the move, headed back towards the front. Meanwhile, further back, looks like Billy Wise is under threat of going a lap down at this point, which would put him on the same lap as Berardi, and also put him in the lucky dog position. And you can really see Wise is having trouble getting that car to turn in. You saw it there in 3, and here again in 1. He's just going to have to let Williamson go. Back into that thing's tore up, and now so is the right side after that little rendezvous with the wall. So unfortunately, things going from bad to worse for Billy Wise right now. Meanwhile, TJ is starting to reel back in the 87 of Smith, little by little. And Smith does get an excellent run out of 2. That is going to open up the advantage just a little bit. But we'll keep checking back in on these two periodically, because I have a feeling they're not done yet. There's Williamson coming up on the 99 of Berardi, who's just having a difficult night tonight. It looks like he was not able to find the handle on that car as Williamson goes around the outside. A view of the grandstands and the announcing booth. I'm somewhere up there. And we go on board once again. Let's see how the track's changed as this race has gone on. You can see very dark in the corners there. And, ooh, ouch! And the pavement here is pretty dark already, so it is a little difficult to see that line where these cars are running. But when you notice it, it's pretty hard to unsee. And they're all still getting pretty flirty with that divot area down on the bottom. There's a little bit of a kiss to it. On some of these in cars, you'll actually hear kind of the sound of the tires going across them. Let's look around and see if we can find anybody who's really flirting with that. Let's see. There's Billy Wise up here. He goes around Johnny Berardi. They're side by side. He might get down into it. Not quite. He's flirting with the seam, but not with the divots, as he pulls back up into line in front of Berardi. There it is. Did you hear that little ah? That is the sound of those divots. And they're not very friendly to tires. So we may actually see a decent amount of wear on the left side tires tonight. So we take a ride with Williamson here. He's getting very close. Some laps he's got all 4 tires down there. Other laps he just barely touches that white line. And he is making it look easy right now as we look out the back bumper of his car. And there's that telltale rumble again. Now, there was an iRacing update to Oval Racing yesterday involving the accumulation of rubber. And what I mean by that is marbles. Those pesky little circular chunks of rubber that get picked up off the track, stick to your tires, and then get thrown away again. Now, from what the drivers told me during practice, it didn't have a massive effect on the handling in a negative way, but a lot of them told me the track felt grippier today. And with an hour of practice and already 46 laps down in this event, as the yellow comes out, there's probably going to be a lot of marbles. So we'll keep an eye on that. Looks like Kiefer may have gone around. We're going to take a look at that, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Jacob, where would be a really cool place to see one of our SimAbility products?
How about the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina?
So, big thanks to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and going above and beyond in setting up this ADA compliant simulator, and thanks for choosing SimAbility.
75 laps left to go here as our 7-car field gets ready to go green again. Dalton Williamson's going to lead him down, and let's try a new camera angle for this start. Let's see what's going on behind him, as the 87 of Smith is going to take 3rd. Back behind him, I see Billy Wise trying to go after TJ, but he's not going to get there. And also, you can see just the dearth of different lines that these drivers are taking. The 76 almost down there hitting the inside wall, while Williamson's running just a little bit up, just letting his left side tires get down there. So compared to the stock cars, there's a little bit more diversity in lines here, and a lot of drivers are using that to their advantage. So So Williamson continues to lead. And then it is Lance. Then Smith, who is in a points battle with Kiefer. The two, let me see, 906 points for Smith, 912 for Kiefer, if I'm reading my sheets up here correctly. So finishing ahead of Kiefer would definitely help the 87 make some inroads towards the top three. Or towards, I should say, towards the podium in points. And Smith is really setting sail. Now, no one has stopped and taken tires yet at all, and 6 of the 7 cars remain on the lead lap. Watch Smith flash by there. Let's go up a little bit further and check on this interval between our two leaders. Last time by, it was almost a second. This time by, it's even closer to being a second. But from the other side, it is 1.069, nice, seconds between the top two. And here, some of these drivers are running different gears too. Some of these cars topping out as they come by the camera, some of them not. And if you are topping out, it does allow you to get a little deeper into the corner. A lot of drivers in this modern era of short track racing do prefer to do that. Some others still like to run it all the way up to the red line and then back off. And you can see a bit of that diversity here in this race as well. So things getting a little spread out here on lap 62. This is the halfway point. And so far, the only storyline has really been Dalton Williamson starting in the back, coming to the front. And, oh my goodness, that is not good. That was Jason Lancer's second place car going around. There is no caution. And here comes Andrew Smith. He's hungry. He can smell blood in the water, and he's looking for it. Might have been down on the divots just a little bit too far for the 76. He may have picked up some marbles on the tires, since that is part of the update. It's really tough to say what happened there, but the car just came out from under him. And that spin that brought out the lap... Uh-oh, somebody else is around. We got all kinds of things going on, folks. We're going to take a look at them. Alrighty, we are back. There was a half spin by the 32 of Billy Wise that brought out the caution. We're getting ready to go green here on lap 68. Pace cars in. And we are racing. Let's try this camera angle again. As we see the 87 trying to get under the 76 here. This is all going on right behind Dalton Williamson. And the Icy Man has already been around sideways once today. And here he goes again. We got ourselves an old-fashioned pile-up on the front stretch. The 87, the 76 both go around. Gonna have to take another look at that and see just what happened. Taking a look here as they go into 3 and 4. Smith got in there really hot. I don't know if Lance expected him to quite be there. I would chalk that one up to a racing deal. The drivers may feel differently, but that is a very, very tough break for both of those drivers. They were sitting as high as 2nd and 3rd on the restart. We'll be back.
Think you can't race? Think again. SimAbility is breaking barriers and making sim racing accessible for drivers with disabilities. We're a welcoming iRacing league open to racers with disabilities, along with their friends and supporters of all abilities. Our members represent a wide range of skill levels and experience, from first-timers to seasoned competitors. This is a place to connect, compete, and most importantly, have fun. Racing isn't just about speed, it's about the freedom to compete. At SimAbility, we believe every driver deserves a spot on the grid. Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for exciting battles, competitive racing, and great friendships. Join the SimAbility Racing League today.
Welcome back, everyone. We are just about to go green once again, and some big developments here. Williamson has pitted. Lance has pitted. A couple drivers getting some laps back in there, and that is going to turn the lead over to Andrew Smith with Stephen Kiefer on his outside. Smith gets a great launch, and he takes off down into turn 1. TJ trying to get underneath that number 22, but can't quite make it. Billy Wise gets pretty deep into turn number 3 there, trying to stay ahead of Williamson. And if you look back here, that is where Jason Lance is. So he is off the pack right now. He's got a lot of work to do to get back up to the front, as Williamson wiggles pretty hard there coming out of turn 2. Cold tires can absolutely mess you up here at a track this tight. And as a reminder, this track was built in a football field, so it is very tight. It's a long way for a person to run, not a very long way for a car to go. So Smith leads lap number 78, with Kiefer and Johnson rounding out the top 3. And it looks like Lance has caught the back of the field. And he goes by Johnny Berardi and sets his sights on Billy Wise in the 32. Williamson now has moved his way around TJ. He takes the 3rd position. And he is already sizing up the 22 of Kiefer. Let's see, is this the move? Not yet. He is right on his bumper, though, and he's going to go to the outside of Kiefer. Kiefer gives him some room to operate, but he gets in the corner pretty deep. They're neck and neck through here. Momentum does favor the outside groove, and Williamson has it at the stripe. That puts him up to 2nd. Meanwhile, the 76 has dispatched the 32 of Wise and is headed off after TJ, trying to catch up to Williamson through traffic. Kind of the dark horse right here has got to be that 87 of Andrew Smith. He has had a rough couple of days, but he has gathered it up and put it into a heck of a run here, leading a lot of laps at the Coliseum. And we are approaching lap 100. We still got a ways to go before we get there, but he has definitely made himself heard, and it looks like he is going to be around at the end of this thing. They're coming up to put a lap on Berardi again, as Weiss has gone around out of 4. I thought I saw that out of the corner of my eye. He's trying to get back on the track, but I don't know if that is going to be a penalty or not. So we'll have to see how that's assessed. Meanwhile, Williamson now sneaking up on the back of Smith. And Lance takes the spot away from Kiefer. So mark Lance up to 3rd. Williamson may not have very much time to race with Smith before Lance gets there. Smith gets very wide out of 2, and that's going to hurt him as he collects a bit of the wall. They're coming up on 2 lapped cars, the 32 and the 99X, and your leader almost spins. They both check up and manage to not do that. That was some very, very good driving out of the top 2. Unfortunately for them, here comes Jason Lance. Berardi gets a big handful of the wall there, a big puff of smoke out of the right front corner of that car. And I heard Lance also glance off the wall behind him. He is using up every single inch this racetrack has to offer. Smith sideways again, and that's a yellow. Absolutely tough break for Andrew Smith. He led a whole bunch of laps, but it all ends up being for naught. We'll see how things shake out when we come back.
Hey Jacob, where would be a really cool place to see one of our SimAbility products?
How about the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina?
So big thanks to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and going above and beyond in setting up this ADA compliant simulator, and thanks for choosing SimAbility.
Just about to go green here again. We got some familiar faces up at the front. Williamson and Lance sit first and second. Smith was able to take his position in third, and that as Kiefer up to his outside. Then Johnson, Wise, and Berardi as we go green once again. Great start for the pole sitter, and we've seen a lot of that all season long. The pole sitter just getting a great launch. That's TJ around in the back, and he collects Billy Wise. Waiting to see if that's a yellow. No yellow. This could get real hairy, folks, as it finally does come out. So that is a very unfortunate break for both drivers there. They're able to get restarted, but damage doesn't look too bad. Front bumper looks intact there on the 23. Back bumper's still looking a little worse for wear on the 32, but other than that, I think they're going to be all right. We'll be back with the restart. All right, preparing to go back green here on lap number 101. This is going to be a nice little 25-24, depending, lap shootout. As some of you may know, iRacing counts 125 as the final lap. You have to come around and complete it, then the race is finished. Speaking of the race, we're green again, going down the front straightaway. And Smith already dives down there underneath Lance. He might have it. Lance getting the momentum down the backstretch. Smith not giving up. And he is going to take second spot away from Jason Lance. Lance still holding that outside. But at this point, it looks like he's not going to be able to get up there next to the 87. Smith definitely wants that lead back. As he gets loose out of 4, that's going to hold Lance up. Kiefer now enters the fray. These two side by side once again with the roles reversed. Now it's Smith working the outside, trying to get that momentum to work in his favor. He checks the brakes early and gets down to the bottom, perhaps trying to get under the 76, but I do believe Lance saw that one coming. Laps to go here for these drivers. And we already have a gap of 1.8 seconds between first and second place. And if they do finish in this order, that will open up more of a points lead for Dalton Williamson. A little further back here, we got battles for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That's all 4 of them on your screen right there. Smith currently holding down that final podium position, followed by Kiefer. And then TJ is back here battling with Billy Wise. And like I said, these two, along with Kiefer, have all been battling each other. Andrew Smith, all 4 of them all season long. You could throw a blanket over them, so it's good to see that things are continuing the way they have been here at the Coliseum, with these 4 drivers duking it out late in the going. So there is your leader, Williamson, and here's the gap. There is Lance. Then comes this battle of 4 cars back behind them. Coming up to put a lap on the 99X of Johnny Berardi. He is currently 2 laps down in the 7th position. And we look back at this little 4-car battle here. Smith really starting to open it up out front of Kiefer. Kiefer definitely had a strong run in qualifying. He was fast in practice. He's just had a little bit of trouble putting something together here in the race. He is still running in the 4th position, but I can guarantee you he wanted to run a little bit higher than that after that qualifying effort. Smith gets loose again on the outside, and Kiefer is there. Smith tries to get down to defend. Kiefer's looking. He's thinking about it. And keep in mind, some of these drivers are using hand controls. Some of them are using all sorts of different setups to control these cars. And when you have to get on the brakes as hard as you do here, it's very difficult to do with all sorts of different control setups. These guys are fighting a lot out here. They're not just fighting the cars and the tracks, but they are persevering, and they are putting on one hell of a show as Smith gets sideways again. And now behind them, Johnson is starting to close in on Billy Wise once again. They're going by, oh my goodness, they were going by the 99X of Berardi, and Smith got him bad in that rear corner. Somehow, no caution. Berardi's car looking much worse for wear, though. And if that thing wasn't handling already, it really isn't now. So we look back at that battle for third and fourth, and Smith is very aggressively going after those divots down on the bottom. Braking hard, driving right across the center there. Really getting that thing to turn. There are now going to be 5 laps to go at the stripe. Let's take a look back up at your leader. There he is. He's coming up on the back of this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And the battle for 5th starting to really heat up here as Wise is starting to lose the handle on that thing, and Johnson's car is just starting to come to him. Not too many laps left to decide this thing. Johnson just needs to get a little bit closer to be within striking distance of the 32. And he gets just a bit crossed up there in the center as Williamson comes up behind the two of them. We'll have to see if he's going to play a factor in that battle, or if he's just going to hang out and collect that W, as this is the white flag lap for the number 1. Williamson off into turn 3. He is going to let them race it out. Dalton Williamson with the win at the Coliseum. Meanwhile, Lance is going to come home 2nd. 3rd is probably going to be the 87 of Smith. Here's 4th, 5th, and 6th, though. They are going at it. And looks like it's going to shake out the way they were running on the white flag. All right, up here with 3rd place, Andrew Smith. Now, you took the lead late into the race, and you were looking good out there, but it seemed as if the handle on the car started to go away a couple laps into that run.
Tonight's broadcast of the No Limits Just Legends Racing Series is brought to you by SimAbility, making sim racing accessible. By AdminBox, your one-stop shop for all your race control needs. And by Custom Racing Creations, making memories that last a lifetime. For Behind the Wheel Productions, Leilani Wilson, Johnny Berardi, I'm Audrey Jenkins. See you in Oxford Plains.